what if I told you that you're wasting your potential? That while you're sitting there, consuming one video after another, procrastinating on your goals, there's a force inside you screaming to be freed. Stop now and ask yourself, what have you done today that brought you closer to your dreams? Nothing. Then you need to hear what I'm going to tell you in the next few minutes. Look, I'll be straight with you. Most people will remain mediocre forever. They'll spend their entire lives wondering why they can't move forward, why they remain stuck in the same situation year after year. And do you know what their problem is? It's not lack of knowledge, it's not lack of opportunity, it's lack of discipline. But today, I'm going to show you how to completely transform your reality through the power of extreme discipline. The same secret that billionaires like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Warren Buffett use every day to dominate their empires. But this doesn't have to be exclusive to them, and you don't need to be a billionaire to apply it today. Before continuing, let me introduce myself. I was exactly like you. I spent hours consuming motivation content on the internet, feeling good for a few minutes, only to return to the same routine as always. My dreams, they were stored in a drawer, along with all the promises I made to myself and never kept. I was the typical guy who started 1,000 projects but never put anything into practice, or if I did, I never finished any of them. I was the king of procrastination. I was like 99% of people are today. I'll be brutally honest with you. I wouldn't get out of bed without checking my phone for an hour. I postponed important commitments because I wasn't in the mood. I lived off dopamine hits, social media, TV series, many hours of online games, anything to escape from what really mattered. I felt like a failure. And you know what's worse? I knew I could be more. I knew I had potential. But that voice in my head, the one that says, leave it for later, you deserve a break, tomorrow you'll start, that voice was stronger. You know that voice, don't you? It's the one that convinces you to stay in bed for 5 more minutes, which turn into 30, which turn into an entire morning wasted. But here's the thing that nobody tells you about that voice. It's not just lazy, it's smart. It knows exactly what to say to keep you comfortable. It speaks your language. It knows your weaknesses better than you do. That voice will tell you that you're different, that you're special, that the rules don't apply to you. It will convince you that you work better under pressure so you can wait until the last minute. It will make you believe that you need to feel inspired to do great work. All lies, all elaborate excuses to keep you exactly where you are. But let me tell you something even worse about this voice. It's not just about keeping you comfortable. It's about keeping you safe. And safety is the enemy of greatness. When you choose safety over growth, when you choose comfort over challenge, you're choosing a slow death. That voice will rationalize everything. It will tell you that you're being realistic when you're actually being a coward. It will tell you that you're being smart when you're actually being weak. It will tell you that you're taking care of yourself when you're actually destroying yourself. The voice feeds on your fears. Your fear of failure, your fear of success, your fear of judgment, your fear of hard work, your fear of discomfort. And the more you listen to it, the stronger it gets. Until one day, I had a moment of clarity that transformed my vision of everything. Discipline isn't something you either have or don't have. Discipline is a muscle that needs to be trained daily. It may sound cliché, but it's reality. Listen to this carefully because it will change your life. Motivation is a lie. Waiting to feel motivated to act is like waiting for the sea to calm down to learn how to sail. It will never happen. The truth nobody wants to tell you is that successful people do not depend on motivation. They depend on discipline. They do what needs to be done, regardless of how they feel. Think about it. Do you think a professional athlete waits to feel motivated before training? Do you think a surgeon waits to feel inspired before performing surgery? Do you think a pilot waits for the perfect mood before flying a plane? Hell no. They show up because they have to show up. Because lives depend on it. Because their reputation depends on it. Because their future depends on it. Your future depends on the same principle. The only difference is that nobody is forcing you to show up for your own life. That's your job. And here's what's crazy. We've been conditioned to believe that if something doesn't feel good, we shouldn't do it. We've been taught that life should be easy, that we should follow our feelings, that we should only do what makes us happy. This is the biggest lie of modern society. The path to everything you want goes through discomfort. The path to strength goes through weakness. The path to confidence goes through fear. The path to success goes through failure. But we've become so addicted to comfort that we've forgotten how to be uncomfortable. We've become so dependent on feeling good that we've lost the ability to do hard things. When I began to understand this, I started making small changes. I established that I would wake up at 6 a.m. every day without exception. The first few days, it was hell. My body begged to go back to bed. My mind created 1,000 excuses. Just today, you deserve to sleep more. You worked so hard yesterday. One morning won't make a difference. But I knew I was in a war against my inferior self, and I refused to lose that battle. I got up anyway, with burning eyes, aching body, clouded mind. And do you know what happened? On the third day, it was still difficult. On the seventh day, it was still difficult. But on the 30th day, something amazing happened. I didn't need to fight myself so hard anymore. My body started to wake up automatically at 5:55, 5 minutes before the alarm went off. But let me tell you what really happened during those 30 days. Every morning that I got up when I didn't want to, I was proving something to myself. I was proving that I could trust myself. I was proving that my word meant something. I was proving that I was stronger than my excuses. And let me make something very clear, I'm not telling you to wake up early. That was just an example of the power of consistency. What matters isn't the time you wake up, but that decision you make and maintain, no matter what happens. That's when I developed the concept of non-negotiables, those daily actions that you will do no matter what happens. It's not open to discussion. It's not subject to your mood. It's like breathing, you simply do it. Let me give you an example every day. I read a few verses from the Bible and take a moment to reflect deeply on them. This daily Bible reading isn't just a routine. It's a sacred commitment to myself. The verses I read in the morning become the compass for my day. Even when I'm exhausted, even when I have 1,000 things to do, I always find those 10 minutes to connect with something greater than myself. And the impact of this on my mental clarity? Transformative. Those moments of reflection are like an anchor amid the chaos of daily life. Is it raining? I do it anyway. Am I tired? I do it anyway. Am I sick? I adjust the intensity, but I do it anyway. That's the power of non-negotiables. They create a structure in your life that eventually shapes who you are. Because listen carefully, you become what you do consistently. Your non-negotiables don't have to be the same as mine. Maybe yours is writing for 30 minutes every morning. Maybe it's doing 50 push-ups before breakfast. Maybe it's calling your parents every week. Maybe it's saving a specific amount of money every month. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you choose it, commit to it, and never break that commitment to yourself. Because here's what most people don't understand: every time you break a promise to yourself, you're teaching yourself that your word means nothing. You're programming yourself to be unreliable, even to yourself. But every time you keep that promise, especially when you don't want to, you're building unshakable confidence in your own ability to follow through. You're proving to yourself that you are someone who does what they say they're going to do. And this confidence, it spills over into everything. When you know you can trust yourself with the small things, you start to believe you can handle the big things. When you prove to yourself that you can show up when it's hard, you start to believe that you can achieve anything. Now, let me tell you about your greatest enemy: mental resistance. It's that force inside you that always chooses the easiest, most comfortable path. It's that part of your brain that was programmed to conserve energy and avoid discomfort. In caveman times, this was useful. Today, It's the recipe for a life of mediocrity. Each time you give in to resistance, each time you choose comfort over necessity, you are literally weakening your discipline. You're telling your brain, it's okay, we can continue choosing the easy path. But each time you overcome that resistance, each time you do what's difficult, even when you don't want to, you're strengthening that discipline muscle. You're literally reprogramming your brain. Here's something that will blow your mind. Your brain doesn't distinguish between big victories and small ones. Every time you choose the hard path over the easy one, even in something tiny, you're building neural pathways that make the next hard choice easier. Did you choose to take the stairs instead of the elevator? Victory. Did you choose water instead of soda? Victory. Did you choose to study instead of scrolling social media? Massive victory. Each small win compounds. Each moment of resistance you overcome makes you stronger for the next battle. But here's what nobody talks about. Resistance is cunning. It will adapt. It will evolve. It will find new ways to keep you comfortable. Just when you think you've got it figured out, it will hit you from a different angle. Resistance will use your own success against you. It will tell you that you've earned a break. It will convince you that you can skip just one day. It will make you believe that you're being too hard on yourself. And the moment you give in, the moment you break that streak, resistance celebrates. Because it knows that getting back on track is 10 times harder than staying on track. That's why consistency is everything. That's why non-negotiables are non-negotiable. Because the moment you start negotiating with yourself, you've already lost. In the first 3 months of this new way of living, I began to notice surreal changes. My productivity exploded. Projects I had been postponing for years began to materialize. My body started to change. My mind became clearer, more focused. But the biggest change was in my identity. I was no longer someone trying to be disciplined. I was disciplined. When friends wanted to go out drinking on a Tuesday night, they didn't even think of inviting me. They already knew he won't come. He has his commitments. Unconsciously, they already think he is disciplined. That's the secret few understand discipline isn't about what you do. It's about who you become. And here's what's beautiful about this transformation. Once you become a disciplined person, discipline stops feeling like a burden. It becomes part of your identity. It becomes who you are at your core. You stop fighting yourself because there's no longer a conflict. The disciplined version of you is you. The lazy version becomes the stranger. People will start to notice. They'll ask you what changed. They'll want to know your secret. And the crazy part is, there is no secret. There's just the decision to show up for yourself every single day, regardless of how you feel. But let me tell you something that might shock you. When you become disciplined, when you start showing up for yourself consistently, some people in your life won't like it. They'll try to pull you back down. They'll make jokes about your commitment. They'll call you obsessed. Why? Because your discipline makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of what they're not doing. It highlights their own lack of commitment. Your success becomes a mirror that shows them their own mediocrity. Don't let them pull you down. Don't let them convince you that you're being extreme. Don't let them make you feel guilty for choosing growth over comfort. The crabs in a bucket will always try to pull down the one that's trying to escape. But you're not a crab. You're a human being with unlimited potential, and you have the right to use that potential. Now, look at your life. Look at where you are and where you wanted to be. The distance between these 2 points, it's filled by discipline. Let me ask you a question that will bother you. What will you think of yourself 5, 10 years from now if you continue exactly as you are today? If you continue giving in to the same temptations, making the same mediocre choices, living the same life as always? You have 2 options. The first hurts for a while and then liberates. The second starts small and grows until it becomes a monster that will devour you from within until the end of your life. Choose now. Choose discipline. Understand this regret is like a wound that never fully heals. It starts as a small discomfort, almost imperceptible. I'll start tomorrow, or just this once won't hurt. But over time, this small regret multiplies and transforms into something irreversible. What could you have built in a year? In 5 years? In 10? This question will torment you when you look back and realize that time has passed and you're still in the same place. I want you to imagine yourself at 65, looking back at your life. What do you want to see? Do you want to see a life full of could-haves and should-haves? Do you want to see decades of potential wasted on comfort and instant gratification? Or do you want to see a life where you consistently chose growth over comfort, where you built something meaningful, where you became the person you always knew you could be? The pain of regret has no antidote, no medicine, no return. Lost time never comes back. As for discipline, yes, it hurts. It hurts when the alarm goes off. It hurts when you need to say no to that temptation. It hurts when your body begs for rest. But you know you need to complete one more repetition, one more page, one more step. But this pain has an expiration date. And better yet, it leaves something valuable in its place. That feeling of laying your head on the pillow at night with a clear conscience. That unshakable certainty that you are, day after day, building the future you deserve. The silent consistency of discipline builds not only results but a character forged in the fire of small daily victories. A character that no one can take away from you. And here's what nobody tells you about discipline: it becomes addictive. Once you taste the satisfaction of keeping your word to yourself, once you experience the confidence that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself, you'll never want to go back to being that person who makes excuses. The high you get from accomplishing something difficult, from pushing through when you want to quit, from proving to yourself that you're stronger than you thought, that's a high that no drug, no entertainment, no instant gratification can match. That's the high of self-respect. That's the high of earned confidence. That's the high of knowing that you are the kind of person who does what they say they're going to do. There is no shortcut. There is no magic pill. There is no secret that will transform you overnight. There is only hard work, consistency, and the discipline to make them happen day after day when no one is watching. The life you dream of is on the other side of your comfort. It's on the other side of your laziness. It's on the other side of your excuses. Stop fooling yourself. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Start now. Start small. But start and don't stop. The person you could become is waiting for you to stop making excuses and start making moves. That person has been patient long enough. That person deserves to finally come alive. Why are you still watching? Go. Do it. Now. Your life, the one you truly deserve, is waiting for you. The choice is yours. The moment is now. Rise up and conquer your discipline. Discipline transforms.